Get ready for another episode of the Southern Rock Racing Series post-race show. Southern Rock Racing Series Bouncer Post Race Show is brought to you by Nitro Gear. And now, direct from the SRRS studios, here's your host.
All right, everybody, we're back again for the 2016 Southern Rock Racing Bouncer Post Race Show. I'm Denny with Rock Riggs.
Dave Z.
And I'm Clyde Bynum with Southern Rock Racing. What
That is Clyde Bynum from Southern Rock Racing, people. How you doing, Clyde?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
Pretty good. You're recovering from this past weekend, huh?
We had a good time this weekend. Everything went really smooth. Scott and his guys up there at the Turtle took real good care of us.
And the Bouncer Series was presented by National Wheel and Tire.
National Tire and Wheel is the presenting sponsor for the Northern Series, and they're a big part of what makes it tick.
See, up north, they're National Wheel and Tire. It's kind of like Hellman's Mayonnaise down. Well, I digress. So, we talk about marketing partners. If you come on out to the race and you see how things actually happen, folks like Scott Goforth, he's out there racing, and Pruitt's Offroad.
Yep, and Scott brought out a lot of product, for the racers. He takes care of a lot of these guys.
He's when I first met Scott, I had no idea what he did for the sport, and to the level that he does it. It's pretty amazing. Not only is he probably, would you say he's the number one sticky tire dealer in the country, or pretty cause to it?
I know he sells a whole lot of them.
Sells a couple of them.
I think he's selling some race lines as well, ain't he?
Yes, sir. I buy a lot of tires and wheels for my customers as well for him, so he helps me out as well.
I got my race lines through Scott.
I got my stickies through Scott.
So
who else we need to talk about?
Well, we don't need to talk about him, but he's in our backyard. We got Rick's Powder Coating, who did an amazing job.
He just pulled off an amazing job on several of these guys in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
quickly.
One comes to mind. TC, he put his rig together in about 2.5 weeks, as everybody and their mother knows.
Well, I've seen somebody do some math on Facebook, and basically he spent 8 weeks building it because it was 18-hour days for 11 days. That's like 8 weeks.
Whoa! Now he was working on his UTV also. So let's take a couple weeks off. I know he was.
All right.
Even if it took 8 weeks, that's still amazing. Even though it was just 2.5. So.
Can't nobody take away what he done. But Rick took care of him, got him shining, and got him going. He also just finished up the Dark Knight rig and got it powder coated. So Rick's done an amazing job for these guys.
Enjoy some of this footage. We'll see you in a second.
We will be right back with the SRRS post-race show.
All right, guys, I tell you, I bet you the RCV recovery crew's got a good night's sleep after this race, because they had a lot of recovery to do.
Yeah, we kept them pretty busy. I think 16 finished the first, or 15 finished the first, and 16 finished the second hill. So we kept them pretty busy.
And if you really want to get into the numbers, only nine drivers finished both of the hills.
Yeah.
So, last year there was a pretty good hill and a hard hill. This year
we're keeping it keeping it to the standards of trying to keep both. And it's a fine line to find a hill that is tough, that these guys have to work hard at, and but yet doable. And but yeah, we did pretty good at this one. I guess we were at about a 50% rate on each hill.
You know, these drivers are really showing their heart out there. I mean, you got folks like the General. You've got folks like Joey P.
Old Maine.
Old Wicked. And, you know, Joe Pierce. I mean, what can you say about this dude, man? Week after week, he's coming out.
I say he's making a long drive every race.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's really showing. I mean, he's coming out. He's leaving it on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
And you mentioned the General. I think Clint got his motor back from the shop Thursday, I think, that morning, and put that thing together and drove out to the race.
So, we could talk about how Rock Rigs was out there doing their thing. I know Danny was out there playing a little bit in his built-up Jeep, but you know, for the most part, he was out there shooting some amazing footage. We had some live feeds.
We also have some live feeds going from Busted Knuckle and
Matt
Mandarin 11.
11.
Cole and Matt both were running some live feeds out there, and that's a big thanks to Scott for being able to make that happen.
They were great. I mean, I wasn't able to make it out this year to the Turtle, but I'm going to tell you right now.
I mean, you were out playing with Mickey Mouse or something, wasn't you?
I was with Mickey Mouse. They had me dressed up in a goofy outfit. It was crazy. I was down at Disney World, and I hated to miss it, but had a great time down in Southern Florida. But the live feed was just amazing, both for the bouncers and the UTVs. So big shout out to Matt, big shout out to Cole. Did an amazing job.
And a big shout out to Scott at the Turtle for making it possible for us to do that.
For sure. What about Christy with the leg?
She, I don't know what the leg is, but she, be sure you go check out. And guess who else was there? Ricky B Photography. He was out of retirement. He was out on the side of the hill.
Ricky B was putting it down. Ricky B's he's an artist.
I've even got video of him running to get the shot.
And if you haven't seen Ricky B run, you need to stay tuned. See you in a minute.
We will be right back with the SRRS post-race show.
So we had 27 attempt both hills. We know we had 15 on one, 16 complete the other. At the end of the day, who we got in top 10?
And we had 9 complete both. But,
actually, yeah.
But in the top 10, number 10 was Danny Smith.
Oh, Nutbush.
He had a failure on the first hill, but he was able to get it fixed. I think Luke and Tal found him a welder at a premium price and fixed a front shaft, mid shaft.
Cork Burner wanted me to thank you both personally for
helping him with that great deal on the welder.
Great deal. Thanks, guys. And then fan favorite Barney Hoover from TX.
All the way from Texas.
Yeah, came in 9. Now now you know, Mr. Nero.
That'd be number 8.
8, but I'm gonna say 2017 Mark Nero. He's going home with it all. That kid got hard.
Yeah, I think he's pretty new to it. So, I think him and Barney Hoover both. That Barney told me himself he was using this year as kind of a learning curve to learn it. So, congrats to.
Then we got number 7. We got old Scott Goforth.
Goforth tire. Scott stepped it up and made both hills.
What a smooth set of runs.
He put it together and did a good job.
Yeah, he did.
Sure did.
And then your old buddy Joe Pierce out of Maine.
Oh, wicked. Joe Pierce coming in 6th. And
I tell you what, he on the second hill, he stood it straight up and all but had it backflip and was able to make a save, and it was pretty impressive.
And I got my shirt on order right now. Old T-Love, the Hitman. They got to make a big one for me. Appreciate it, Travis.
Travis Lovett. That'd be number 5th for him back-to-back. So he's actually doing pretty good in the points.
Yep.
Fan favorite, and I mean this fan favorite. He's one of the nicest guys out there.
Trying to start a riot.
Jake Bourke. Jake Bourke showed number 4th place, and he was actually tied with one of the Spiegel brothers with 86 points.
The older brother.
The older brother. Younger brother, he likes taking little funny pictures.
He was tied with Jason Spiegel, which is in 3rd. Let's see what he's got to say. We got Jason Spiegel here at Dirty Turtle for round 2, the first northern race. Ended up on the podium with 3rd place. Let us know how it went. How'd you get there?
It was a messed up day. Me and my boy both were running the same buggy. He broke on the first deal, and we tried to put it back together so I could run the second deal because I knew I had a pretty quick run. And I mean, it worked out pretty good. I mean, Turtle always has a good crowd here, and it's a nice place to race. I mean, it's all the help, all my friends. That's what it takes to get out here.
Is it safe to say that you're going to try some more things, figure out a way to get a little further up on the podium?
You know that. You know that.
You consistently seem to end up back up there. You or Ethan always consistently end up there somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to have a 1, 2, 3 somewhere with SRS this year.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate you coming out. We'll see you at the next one, Bikini Bottoms.
Yes, sir. Be there.
All right, man. And who we got moving on up into 2nd place for this round?
One of the nicest guys in the series right now, Brandon Davis.
He's this is his first year. This is his rookie year, and he's laid down some good runs. So 2nd place is pretty impressive.
He ain't driving like no rookie, I tell you.
Let's see what he's got to say. Here we are at Dirty Turtle for round 2 of the championship, Southern Rock Racing Championship, and obviously the first race of the Northern Series. You got real close to the top of that podium today with actually a tie of points but lost the tiebreaker. So ended up in 2nd place. What got you there? And what kept you from the top?
I think it's just driver on the first hill. I left a lot out there. I was the 4th buggy to go, and I just played too conservative on the first hill. But I was trying to keep 4 tires on the ground and forward momentum and get out the top.
Well, I will say
that just wasn't enough.
On the first hill, you actually ran it really smooth. Everything but the first jump right there. I think you got a couple of error to it right there.
Yeah, I checked up a little too much on the first hill.
Other than that, it looked like a cakewalk. It made it look like a driveway.
That buggy's working, and it's got so much more in it. I just got to get some more seat time. And
I'd say you ain't doing too bad being the first year and ended up on the podium back-to-back already. So,
I was just wanting to be in the same ballpark as the great
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say you were first in the last event, correct?
That's right.
So it's going to be safe to say you're probably in the lead for the championship with that going. So we'll see you at the next one at Bikini Bottom.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
And taking 1st place this week, no one other than TC, Timmy Cameron. Hardest working man in show business. If this was music, he'd be James Brown right now.
He pulled off an amazing feat. He had lost all confidence in the moneymaker with an independent suspension that he tried, and as he calls it, Old Faithful. He was glad to be back on the solid axle side of the world, and he was back to confident, and it paid off for him.
Check out what he has to say.
Here we are at Dirty Turtle. Just finished a good day of racing. First Northern race, 2nd race for the championship. You ended up at the top of the podium today. The first hill, you absolutely killed it. I don't even think anybody got within 7 or 8 seconds of the first hill on you. The second hill, you had a little trouble at the top, but it wasn't enough to hurt you on the overall. Right. How does it feel to have a buggy you built nipping at your heels? Ended up in 2nd place.
You know, Brandon's a good driver. He's competitive. But I'm happy for him also. My buggy that I designed and built that is putting pressure on me, it makes me feel somewhat confident in what I do. It's as a hobby, of course. I wouldn't ever want to do it as a job. Even though I built like the one unfinished business, I built it, in 15 days.
Yeah, I was going to say at the first race you had Moneymaker. Right. You just lost all confidence in Moneymaker after that failure.
Correct.
But did you think you'd get it done when you started that day?
No, the plan was I called Brandon. He was more happy to let me borrow Showtime 2. The plan was I was going to borrow Showtime 2 for this race and for Bikini Bottoms. And in the back of my mind, I was like, man, don't want to do it. For one, if something happened and I did crash it or anything, it's going to jeopardize his points in a second. And in my heart, I just wanted to get my own.
You want to be on top, but you want to be on top
the right way.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. Most certainly. Yeah.
Well, is there anything you're going to do different for the next one? Looks like it's working for you.
It works, but his knee shock is bad. Rear shock's is off moneymaker, so it's decently close. Front way off. It's got coilovers on it that's got a pretty good bit of valving, so I think the bypass is going to show up. It did show up, and I wanted to put them on there just because the guys that got them for me busted their butt to get them.
Exactly.
So it was double valved in the front, and I just drove it best I could. I'm glad to be back on the solid axle side of the mountain. Just like up there, when it pogoed into that ledge, in the back of my mind, I was like, yes, sir, I know I got something now. I take it to use again and be ready to go rest of the season.
Good deal. All right, well, man, we'll see you at the next one, Bikini Bottom.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
All right, guys. After 2 full races now, who we got sitting in top 10?
We got one race in the north, one race in the south, and 10th place is that guy you don't want to make angry. Ryan Brumhall in the Hulk buggy sitting in 10th.
Got a lot of fans out there. I mean, I'm no stranger to social media, and you can hear the people out there pulling for this guy, and he pulled a crazy trip just to make, so many of these drivers. I mean, you look at the Hitman, you look at Broomhill making it out there, from Vegas. These people are coming from everywhere just to make these races. So yeah, the Hulk buggy after 2 races, he's in 10th place.
And then we got Kyle Crouch, who is new to it this year with us, and he's sitting in 9th place with 120 points.
All right, then what you got? Adam Ringer? He's sitting in...
Craig Hughes.
Craig Hughes.
Craig Hughes. I'm sorry.
Excuse
me.
What a hit he took. Good God.
And he just spent a lot of time with Sunfire over there getting a new front end put on it, made some changes, and that second hill bit him pretty bad. And he took a lick. He told me he was a little sore the next morning, but he'll get her back together and get her ready again.
Okay, now Adam Ringer.
Now you got Adam Ringer sitting there at 123 points, so just 1 point ahead, not far off, huh?
No, not at all.
That buggy's stout, showgirl stout.
Yeah.
And then we got Jason Spiegel sitting up there next.
It's a hell. I mean, both the Spiegel brothers.
Jason, then Ethan. Ethan's sitting 2 points ahead of Jason. So both those guys,
keeping it tight.
There.
And those guys spend a lot of time working on those rigs and keeping them together. And it shows who goes out there and stays on them and stays tuning.
I mean, we're looking at this right over here, and just week after week, these are the folks who are there. It's pretty amazing. Then
that brings us up to number 4.
Just such a nice dude. Great to talk to. Competitive, but always a smile on his face. You got the Riot himself. You got Jake.
And he made some big changes in the off season, and it looks like it's paying off for him pretty well.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And then one of
your favorites.
Yeah, one of my favorites, the Hitman. He's gonna be there, man. He can. I mean,
he's a driver.
Yep.
He's a straight up old school driver, and he's going to be there. And if he doesn't tin cup this thing, if he doesn't try to hit that grand slam, man, he's going to be there at the end of the year.
I think he's been 5th at the first 2, so that puts him sitting at 3rd overall in points. So he's doing pretty good.
I mean, that's huge. And the next 2. I mean, you look at this top 5. It's going to be hit for hit. These are the heavyweights. These are the top.
All it takes is one hill that makes all the difference in the world.
That's it. Yep. You got Tim back on 80s, and
Timmy. Now that he's back to confident, he'll be a contender this year as well.
Okay, it will.
But I mean, the story here.
Who we got sitting on top?
It's the Cinderella story. You got one of the most humble dudes in the series right now. For most of the case, he's unsponsored. He did
tell us his wife has sponsored him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I think he may have got a little trouble for the sponsor comment at the first race.
But one of the nicest guys out there. He's soon to be a fan favorite.
He can drive that rig. Obviously, this is his first year in a rock bouncer, and
sitting number 1.
He doesn't have much seat time in that rig, but the rig is Showtime 2, built by Tim Cameron. And Brandon has been able to step in there and make it happen right off the bat. So,
and he's maintaining it so far. So I'm really looking forward. I know we all are to the rest of the 2016 series. A lot can happen. Like you said, one hill.
One hill makes it all change.
So we're going to see everybody out April 29th April 30th over at Bikini Bottoms.
Bottoms.
That's
Be
my
round 3.
backyard. It's gonna be a big party. It's gonna be a good time. There's gonna be a ton of people there. Make sure that you're out there.
It's very spectator friendly as well.
Bikini Bottoms has made some huge changes since last year, so you'll be surprised if you hadn't seen the place lately.
You know, the parking's going to be ridiculous. They've definitely improved that aspect of it. I mean, it wasn't terrible to begin with, but they've come leaps and bounds. So we'll see you out there. Come say what's up to us, meet the drivers, and cheer your favorites on. What about the swag, man?
Yeah, we'll have all the Southern Rock Racing swag and the Signature Series driver shirts. We'll actually have a couple more added to the list before Bikini Bottom. So
they're really nice shirts. They're not some cheapo shirts with a cheapo
they're
graphic.
really nice.
They're the real deal.
Yes, sir. Be sure to check out if you want the rest of the stats for the season standings for any of the classes, UTV and Bouncer. Check it out at www.srrs.rocks, and be sure to like and share this video.
On behalf of Clyde and Denny, myself, hey, have a great time, and we'll see you on out there.
The Southern Rock Racing Series Bouncer Post Race Show is brought to you by Nitro Gear. This has been a Rock Rigs production.